A fundamental thing that I focus on a lot on this channel is balance. Balance in the sense that there's a heart and there's the mind. How do we get that straight? My name's Tarab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day. And today I want to convince you that pursuing your passions requires a very delicate understanding of what other people require of you and what you require of yourself. Mainly speaking, you can have a balance of how much time you personally spend on the things that you know you need to do and the things that you know help you do the things you need to do. Meaning, if for instance I'm working for 12 hours a day and I need half an hour to chill out, I want half an hour to chill out in order to recuperate my brain, or an hour to chill out in order to recuperate my brain and to recontextualize my situation. That is knowing that there is a balance to things, that there is a necessity in the chilling. Now, that is not to say that when someone comes up to you and says, hey, you need to spend your time out with people that don't align with your philosophies, that don't align with the things that you want to do, to balance your life in the sense that you shouldn't be cooped up all the time at home. Sure, they have a point, but not necessarily the correct point. Otherwise stated, social situations, social gatherings are good for us. Growing up, it's very, very important for us to understand how we fit in to other social contexts, to other people's philosophies, to different awkward scenarios so we can parse through that and figure it out. Sure. But as we get into our 20s, I believe it's very, very important, especially if you've done the hard work of realizing what you really want to do with your life. If you've done the dedicated work that requires you to sit down, think about where you want to be when you're 80 years old, think about how much money you want to have, think about what type of people you want to be surrounded by. If you've done the hard work of rigorously trying to go through that, then fine. Do what you need to do. Spend the time in the right places, spend the time alone, and spend the time at the parties, spend the time at the social gatherings. But by virtue of you doing that work, you will know when a social gathering is worth only X amount of your time. Meaning that if someone says to you, hey, you're not going out and you're not learning new things and you're not engaging with these people, and you know that you have to go and read a book for a second, or you have to go and write out a system to create for your business, whatever, and it's going to take you an X amount of time, and then you can go and do that other thing. The balance is your choice. The balance is going to come down to where you want to go in life. And the bigger the sacrifices, the bigger the goal, which are the same thing, the bigger the sacrifices equals the bigger the goal, necessarily, the less it's going to look like balance from the outside. The less it's going to be able to be logicked out by any other particular person. Because as soon as you get into the rote memory, the rote exercise of predicting or really planning where you want to go in the future, you are already separating yourself from probably at least 85% of people. Because I would say the vast majority of people have not even gone out of their way to think about what they want in the long term, let alone even the next day. So if you've done that exercise, if you've gone through and done the hard work of soul searching, of trying to figure that out, then I'm sorry, your road will not be understood by probably 85% of people. Now, does that mean that you can't learn from those people? Does that mean that you can't learn from the way that they interact, or the way that they portray themselves, the way that they show their insecurities, the way that they, perhaps their level of prediction? You can learn, for sure. You can learn from anything if you're paying enough attention. But at the end of the day, the stimulus is not enough. It's not enough to learn everything. You must put in the work. Work directed towards, ideally, where I assume, at least in my life, that you want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. So balance. Balance will be different for every single person, obviously. How you find that is the level to which you have predicted your future. Your balance will be determined entirely by your goals. And there's no one that should be able to tell you what your balance should be. because it's only your life. It's only your trajectory. And sure, you have communities around you, you have your family, you have people that you love, you have people that you inspire, you have people that you learn from. Sure, you need all of that. But it's only really you that has a complete understanding, or at least a very amorphous understanding of your universe. So I make this video as a way to convince you that when you are in a situation where someone says to you, be it a psychologist, be it someone that's trying to belittle, perhaps, your pursuits in life, think to yourself that perhaps in the process of guiding so many people that are looking for help, perhaps they forget that there are some people that know what they're doing. Perhaps the safety comes from, hey, I know more and they don't. That's the paradox of pursuing this life. Trying to learn constantly from the little things in life and trying to also formulate our own philosophies to move forward. The emotional intelligence that's required to parse that out has evolved over time and very difficult work. I promise you. I had a conversation with someone earlier today about how important it is to have a strong reason to put in on all of this work, and how important it is to try to aim to do something large in life to begin with. It's the classic Jim Rohn stuff. It's the classic Tony Robbins, the classic Grant Cardone stuff. Setting a monetary goal is great. Getting to that monetary goal is another thing altogether. It's a pipe dream if we don't have a strong enough why. Because the work, the damn sheer amount of work you gotta do, is going to be so much that most people will give up. Unless you have a strong why, you will give up. And the why comes from writing out where you want to be. Period. And really wanting that. Like genuinely wanting that. Repeating it to yourself. Almost manically. To the point where you wonder, where is the damn balance? What balance? There's also something I came across recently that was very interesting. I'll probably make a whole other video on that. But it's the concept that not only do we need to have, not only is it good to, if you're going to pursue this kind of extravagant, amazing life, not only is it important to have that long-term goal, but it's also very important to be aggressive about it. Because it might not necessarily be about winning or losing, but to some degree you are competing. You're at least competing for attention. And that's something that I still struggle with a lot, but I'm sure as I continue on this Terravify grind, I'll have to come across that sooner or later. But forget about the balance, right? Balance your heart and your mind. Balance your time as it pertains to how you need to feel in order to get to your goal. But do not balance your life based on the assumptions of other people. Be very careful about falling into the trap of being belittled for the hard work that you do. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. This is another video that I made about finding your purpose. It's an older one, but I still think very, very relevant. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself.